Squad. It is me, JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another review for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Please wrap this season up expeditiously. But this is season 10, episode number 12. This episode was titled Potomac and Ponies and Problems. Before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you're not subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac. Shall we? All right, you guys. So before I jump into it, just want you guys to tell me if you watched Potomac on Sunday night, what did you guys think about it? Did you enjoy the episode? Did you hate the episode? Feel free to chime in and let me know. For me personally, this episode, they got on my nerves. I can't say anything other than they get on my nerves, and more specifically, that big head Ashley Darby. It is something about that gutter snipe woman that I just cannot stomach or stand. Like, she just gets on my damn nerves. But let's talk about it, shall we? Now, this episode, it literally opened where we ended last week's episode. You guys remember last week they were questioning Angel, asking her, was she evicted? Much like last week, I'm still confused on the particulars of Angel's living situation. If Angel did get this house just to film this show, I don't have a problem with that. That's cool. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that because plenty of people have done it before. So it's not like she's the first person to rent a house to be on this show. Now, while she's having this conversation with Ashley's big head ass, Giselle, Jazzy, Giselle, Ash, not Giselle and Ash, but Giselle, Jazzy, and even Wendy were having a little side conversation. I wasn't really picking up on what they were saying. They were having a conversation, right? Bappy said you should have more sympathy for Ashley. All that forehead is probably hard to carry, so it makes her miserable. It just might make her miserable, but it makes me miserable seeing her on my television screen. So Ashley and says to her, well, babe, and y'all know I can't stand when a girl say babe. She's like, well, babe, they're saying that you got that you rented this house for the show. And she was like, rent this house for you and Giselle and Wendy in her interview. Angel, here's my thing with you when it comes to this reunion. The same energy that you had last week on Threads in your interviews, please have this energy at the reunion. What up, universe soul goddess? How are you doing today? But yeah, Angel had an energy for the girls at the reunion. Please and thank you. Because if you don't have it, then what's the purpose? Like, at this point, I don't care. I know I don't care. Y'all may care, but I don't care what Angel is saying on social media and in interviews. The season has already wrapped. But again, you have one opportunity to get your stuff off. That is at the reunion. So, but again, Ashley, you're living in a house that you can't afford without your ex-husband's money. Number two, did y'all give Nneka this? Like, y'all didn't give Nneka the same energy that y'all are giving to Angel, because Nneka rented a house in Potomac until she got her house. So, like, be consistent. Y'all didn't do this to Mia. Mia rented a house to be like, let's be consistent with it. Mia's done it. Karen has done it. Nneka's done it. And Angel is doing it. But the problem is y'all don't really see it for Angel, and that's why y'all are nitpicking, more specifically your big head ass, because you can't lock down a man to take care to front your lifestyle that you want to live. It's jealousy, Ashley. It's pure jealousy. Let's be for real, babe. and go kick a rock, babe. Like you told Winnie to kick a rock on Watch What Happens Live. How about you kick the same rock? Actually, find a bigger rock to kick and do that. Exactly. I do not like how they pick an Angel, but I need her to you need her to direct it at Ashley and Giselle. If Angel wants to stay on this show, that's her best bet is to direct that energy at the reunion to those two heifers. So after that, we see them as they. The one thing about Potomac, they give low budget energy because this is giving field day, doing sack races and all that kind of stuff. This is giving something that I can afford to do, and that's not why I watch Housewives, to see something I can afford to do. Neither here nor there. Eddie Hennessy and Pam Oliver, baby, mm, this episode with you two. This episode to do neither one of them any type of favors. So Eddie Hennessy was having a conversation with the men, and Eddie Hennessy told the men that Pam Oliver, P.O. Pam Oliver, wants a new ring. I said, oh shit, not a new ring. Oh God, not a new ring. Not a new ring. So she wants a new ring. And I was like, oh girl, y'all should have really called production and asked them to scrap this scene. Because girl, I mean, they already saying that you wore the ring that you said was stolen. But that's not, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That is allegedly. But yeah, Pam and Eddie Hennessy, this ain't a good look. This ain't a good look. So Timo, also let's talk about somebody. Let's talk about somebody else real quick and drag her. Charisse. Charisse is so fucking thirsty for camera time and TV time on this show. Like, Charisse, you are not even a friend of. You are below a friend of. You are a guest at this point. So you up here talking to Stacy and her family. I was with Stacy, and Stacy, I wish you had to say it to her big Bob the Builder built ass. Girl, get the hell away from us. What up, Cece and Corey? Yeah, all the lifestyle footage made me cringe for them. Me too. But Charisse, you are so thirsty. You are a thirsty broad. Like, I ain't never saw somebody so thirsty in my life. So Timu, whatever his name is, y'all. He ended up leaving, right? And so Giselle felt the way. I was like, girl, at least he came. Okay, he maybe stayed 5-10 minutes. Girl, at least the man came. He ate the food that looked nasty as hell. So what are y'all upset about? What are you upset about? What are you upset about, Giselle? Where is your man at? Tell me that. Where is your man? Oh, that's right. You ain't gonna bring no man on his cameras ever again because thanks to Monique. And it is what it is, right? So then this treacherous ass, bulbous head ass Ashley Darby. When I tell y'all I can't stand Ashley Darby, I can't stand Ashley. So Ashley's big-headed ass, we see a flashback scene to where Ashley, Giselle, and Charisse, of all people, sat down with each other, right? And they're having a conversation. So Ashley told Charisse that, when Jackson took me home that night, and Jackson is Charisse's son, right? She's like, yeah, we had a little smooch. I said, oh, God, a little smooch with Ashley is disgusting. I almost threw up in my mouth hearing the fact that boy smooched Ashley. Oh, God. So repulsive. I almost threw up even saying it again. But here's my thing with you, Ashley. You're a hypocrite. And let me spell out why you're a hypocrite, boo. Well, no, not boo, babe. But let me explain why you're a hypocrite. So you've made a big fuss about Stacy dating Chris Samuels, who is Monique's ex-husband. Okay. The problem was Stacy didn't even know Monique. But you, babe, you know Charisse. You've been around Charisse. You've been in Charisse's home. So you ended up kissing her son, which is worse. Kissing someone that you've been in her home that you know you've kissed her son, or going out on a date with a man that was previously married, but I don't know his ex-wife. Which is worse, Ashley? I think what you did with Sharice's son is worse. Cray says, I didn't know she liked black men. She don't. Ashley don't like nothing black. She likes Caucasian, and she likes old Caucasian. Let's be real. Ashley was just really, really drunk, and that boy kissed her. Because Ashley ain't fooling me. Because speaking of Ashley, the Rockhead Heifer was on Watch What Happens Live, right? And so Andy asked her about dating. She said, I'm spinning the block. So she done went back to Jack Harlow after breaking up with him on TV. Ashley, wrap that storyline up and go the hell away. That is all I need for you to do for me is go the hell away. So then Angel pulled Tia to the side, right? And she was just telling Angel was telling Tia how, she feels a way, and I'm assuming she feels a way that Tia took this information back to Giselle, and now it's coming back to her, right? I feel bad for you, Angel, but girl, they were gonna find out one way or the other. So I don't know what you wanted to happen, right? But hey, it is what it is. Now I know it's a cold ass day in hell when I agree with anything that Giselle Bryant has to say, but Kiana and Greg were sitting at the table, right? And I guess they revealed to Giselle that she's moving back in with Greg. And again, I know it's a cold ass day in hell for me to agree with Turkey Neck, Slinky Neck, Saturn's rings, because Giselle says, Kiana, girl, that man is not gonna put a ring on your finger at this point, especially now that you don't move back in, you lost your leverage. I said, ding, 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 Giselle. I hate to agree with you, but you're right. Like, Kiana, that man is not gonna propose to you. And girl, what you got in this episode, you should really feel dumb as hell. But we'll eventually get there. And then the last thing at this, girl, let's call it what it is, a goddamn gone cookout. It's a fucking cookout. So Cameron had me screaming when Stacey was like, did you like this potato salad, Cam? And she said yes, but she's looking at her mama and her eyes are saying no. Now Stacey's potato salad, it didn't look bad to me, but I wouldn't eat it because again, I don't eat potato salad, but it is what it is. What up, Monique 69 Ways? You say, hey there, JB, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. Girl, this beach house is moving. But yeah, you guys, that's all we got with that scene. Where do I want to go next? This episode kind of felt fillerish, if I'm being honest with you guys. Did y'all get filler from this episode? Because nothing happened. Because everybody's scenes were pieced like the scenes were kind of pieced together, and it didn't make any sense to me. Like everybody's scenes were so like Giselle's scene was short, Angel's scene was short, Stacey's scene was short. Like the only people who had long scenes in this episode were Tia and Pam Oliver. So I guess we can go ahead and the person who had the least in this episode, besides Angel, Giselle. So let's talk about Giselle real quick. Good afternoon, the informed. You said, JB, did you ever review last week's Beyond? I did not. So I have to give a really B about I'm gonna have to talk to Really B about that. So we'll probably end up doing it this weekend because I don't think there are that many episodes this week. Although I don't like doubling up, we'll have to double up. Definitely a filler. Not much. Giselle and Ashley this week. I was happy not to see Ashley so much. But Giselle, when it comes to Giselle, it really went nothing with her in this episode. So we see her and she's talking to this woman at the Brain Tumor Society about some kind of a charity race that she did. And they just talked about how much she raised and how, she does this. And it makes her feel closer to her father, especially since she's not even at an ending point when it comes to the whole will of it all. As much as I don't like Giselle, I do feel bad for the woman when it comes to her father's will. That is the one thing I can say that I do feel bad for. Other than that, we ain't getting nothing with that lady. And for that, I can say I am happy because seeing very little of Giselle in my episodes, I'm fine with that. And it's an even better day when I don't have to look at Ashley's big headed ass. Even better. So the next person we can move on to, and also you guys, if you guys hear a lot of noise, my little cousins are running around the house. So hopefully you guys can hear me more than you can hear my little cousins. But moving on. So the next thing we got is I'm gonna bring up Angel because there was really nothing in her scene. I don't even know what to say about Angel scene. Now you guys know that Angel last week we discussed it that she was having to move back to Colorado, right? So in this week's episode, we see her husband and her kids running around the house. She's on the computer. I don't know what she was doing on that computer. She said she was working, but I don't know what she was doing. But she let us know that. Now, here's the thing, Angel. I have a question for you because, again, you don't make a whole lot of sense because you told us in last week's episode that the only thing that y'all had were your clothes and stuff. So where are you putting in storage? Like, and did you? And to my knowledge, y'all didn't sell your home in Colorado. So what are y'all putting in storage? Like, I didn't understand what she was putting in storage. But she's talking to Bobby about the fact that she's inviting the girls up to Colorado, right? And she just wants everything to go smoothly. And she not talking about she not gonna take no disrespect in her house. I said, girl, you beg to differ. You don't took disrespect from these girls up until this point. So why would it be any different for them to come into your house and disrespect it? Like, please explain that shit to me, Angel. Like I said, when it comes to Angel, I just want her to the energy that she has in her interviews and the energy that she had on threads last week. Translate that energy to these women. And more specifically, translate that energy to Ashley and to Giselle. Those are the two women that have come at you the most this season. Again, if you don't get that energy at the reunion, girl, and here's the thing. I'm not one of those people who is gonna say that Angel needs to be a one season and done. I don't agree with that. I would definitely like to see Angel come back for another season. It's just the fact that Angel comes off as a pushover, in my personal opinion. And that's just how I feel. You say Angel is confusing. She absolutely is. What up, Kiwan? How you doing today? Yeah, Angel is definitely confusing. Because again, like I said, I thought she said that house was furnished. So, girl, what the hell are you putting in? What the hell are you putting in storage? But that's neither here nor there. So we move on from Angel. And who do we want to go to next? Who do we want to go to? Child, I'm good today because I just ended work less than 30 minutes ago. And so now I am in vacation mode. So I'm real good. So who do we want to go to next? So we talked about Angel, we talked about Giselle. Ooh, I want to say Tia and Pam for last. So I guess we'll go with the most embarrassing person in this episode. Are you not embarrassed? Like, girl, are you not embarrassed? Kiarna, baby girl, you should be embarrassed by Greg's old funny looking ass. So it is the big day, according to Kiarna, that she and Greg are moving back in together. I was like, girl, you are dumb as a box of rocks. Because there is no way in hell I would be moving back in with that funny looking ass man. But hey, if you like it, I don't love it. So Kiarna, he got there, she's like, things are different between Greg and I. I was like, are they really? Are they really? But again, you're going to have egg on your face pretty soon because I know you definitely did. So he gave her a gift. Mind you, he gave her a box. Box ain't wrapped, ain't nothing, pretty or appealing about this box. Technically, it is a packing box. I was like, oh, girl. Oh, girl. Like, he could have wrapped this. He gave you a box that you pack the shit in when you're moving. This is a moving box. So she opened up the box, right? And in the box were some pretty roses. I was like, those are beautiful roses. But those are something that you give. Never mind. Moving on. If Kiana liked it, I loved it. So then she went deeper into the box. So there was a bag from the jewelry store that he. Now you guys remember that episode that we saw Greg looking at those rings, right? I knew good and well Greg wasn't buying no ring for Kiana at that store, but he did buy her something from the store. And she's like, "Is it jewelry? What is it? What is it? What is it?" I was like, "Girl, I don't know what it is, but I know it ain't a ring." Because that's what she was hoping for was a ring. But I was like, "Girl, it's not a fucking ring. Not in that flat ass box." And it was flat and it was big. I was like, "Girl, that is not a ring. And if it were a ring, this would be the worst. Like if this were an engagement ring, this would be the worst proposal known to mankind." So Kiana opens up the box, right? What do you guys think is in the box? I was thinking, okay, I know it's not a ring. I was like, the most it could be is a bracelet. If it's a bracelet, I'd be like, cool, you buy me a nice bracelet. No. Kiana opened that box and it was a picture frame in there. I was like, you bought me a picture frame? I would have been pissed. But she had to pretend like she wouldn't. But this man bought her a picture frame. I was like, oh my God, Kiana. Girl, a picture frame? Girl, he got you a picture frame. Oh, I know she was molded. A picture frame? So then she starts talking about the fact that she wants to keep her condo in her name. I was like, that's smart. So then she asked him, now when it comes to the house, like when we get married, are you gonna, put my name on the deed? He said, if we get married. She said, no, 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 not if. He said, yeah, if. She said, no, 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 no. When we get married. I said, no, 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 no. He said it right the first time. It's if you get married. No, 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 no. Let me correct myself. You're not getting married. Kiana, girl, you just as dumb as the day is long. That man bought you a picture frame. Girl, if you like it, Kiana, go ahead and live it. Go ahead and live in delusions. But that man ain't marrying you. That house is not going to your name. The smartest thing you can do is let that man pay for your condo, but keep it in your name. That is the smartest thing that you can do. And if you do anything other than that, you're a fool. You say Kiwan says we knew Greg could only afford a frame, and he didn't put no thought or effort. Nope. Horrible presentation, and he played on her face. How embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Like, if you give me a gift, the least you could do is not put my stuff in a box that you pack your stuff up to move out of a house. You can at least give me some nice, even if you don't, here's the thing, you ain't gotta even wrap the box, but give me a gift box. Give me a gift box. Put a bow on the gift box. Do something. But don't give me no box that you bought from Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Target, wherever. Give me something nice. Like, you could have gave me the flowers in my hand and you could have kept the bag as is. Because she knew it was from that. I mean, she knew where the stuff came from. Give me the bag, not this big ass box. Greg, his funny looking ass loves to play in Kiana's face. And if she like it, I love it for her because I really don't care. Because Kiana, you a fool. You's a plum fool. So next up, we move on to Tia. Tia's kids. I don't like talking about people's kids like that. But Tia, girl, your kids are flat out disrespectful and rude. Your kids are disrespectful and rude as hell. So Tia is sitting here having a conversation with her kids about chores and stuff, right? So it sounds like, and I'm not gonna sit here and judge, because as a kid, I was kind of the same way. My mom used to have to get on me because if I pick up something, I will leave it where it is, but I will eventually go back to it. But I was kind of the same way, so I'm not going to even sit here and judge her kids. But when it comes to how disrespectful her kids are, them kids, especially her oldest daughter, them kids need some home training. That's all I gotta say. So Tia is talking about the fact that her sister is going to be coming to visit, and she says, "Now, Tia, how many homes do you got?" Is the question because she's talking about taking her to another house. I was like, "Okay, cool." So with Tia, her dad had two kids outside of her mother, and it sounded like Tia didn't want to get to know her siblings at first. And I was like, "Oh, the kids. I mean, I get it. I kind of get it, but those kids didn't ask to be here." And her sister is beautiful. We saw the pictures of her, right? So then we do see her sister, and we found out that her sister lives in the capital of Nigeria. Again, her sister is very beautiful, very beautiful. It sounded like to me they didn't really officially forge a relationship until after the father died, which is a little weird to me. But okay, better late than never. In the words of Riley, huh? Um, Bab says, "Spoiled kids, nothing to say. The horrible kids first. Them kids, especially that oldest daughter. That oldest daughter is a handful, and she's almost an adult. Good luck to you, Tia. That's all I got for you. So that's really all we had with Tia scene. Oh shit, I almost forgot about Stacy. Child, shout out. Let me say this real quick before I talk about Stacy, because it ain't much with Stacy seen either. But shout out to Stacy, because Stacy has had a good year. I did see before I came on here that Carlos King named Stacy Reality Star of the Year. Y'all know I like Carlos, but y'all also know how I feel when it comes to Carlos. That I feel like Carlos kisses ass. He kisses ass. But I do agree that I think Stacey has been like one of the breakout stars this year. Because if y'all didn't know, Stacey last week was on the Drew Barrymore show, and they loved her on there, right? Vanity Fair had did an article, did something, wrote something about Stacey. Like it's so interesting. The more that these girls come at Stacey, the more likable, the more the fans like and love Stacey. So y'all like it's funny to me because I know when they're used to people, you know what? Moving on, but yeah, shout out to Stacey. Y'all know I fucks with Stacey. I fucks with Stacey the long way. I think both Stacey and Timo are awkward in general. Watching them together tickles me. They were very awkward. Kiss his ass like no other. He do, but I do like Carlos. So, but I did have to say that. Now, Stacey, girl, you know I like you, but I'm gonna have to call you out. I'm gonna have to tug on your wig a little bit, sis. You talking about you're more of a yogi, okay? And that you're not really into working out, like lifting weights and stuff. And I'm glad that Bravo showed that clip of you last season at the gym with Miss TJ. Stacey, beloved, you got a lying problem. And again, Stacey, I like you. You my girl, but you got a little bit of a lying problem, sis. Kiwan says the heifers are really going to be mad at her, and I'm glad Stacey is being elevated. But I'm loving the elevation of Stacey. But we see Stacey and Timu, whatever his name is, they are working out, right? Stacey lets us know that Ashley's bunions aren't the only body part that has been on her counter. I was like, you know what, Stacey girl, get it in. I ain't even mad at you. Get it in. But what really cracked me up was when Stacey said to Timo that she wants a bigger butt. I said, Stacey, the delusions, because you don't even have a butt, Stacey. You want a big butt, not a bigger butt. You don't have a butt, Stacey. Like you are all titties and no ass. Let's just be real, Stacey. Let's be real. You are a breast woman with no butt. Stacey was one of those kids they said had a vivid imagination. LOL. She just lies for no reason. She does, and I still rock with Stacey. Like when she posted that clip of her on the Drew Barrymore show, I put in her comments that no matter what they do, they can never make me hate you. Like y'all can't make me hate Stacey. And I know people try to compare. I know people say, people now. I wasn't one of them people, but I know people like everybody loved Mia when she was, telling her lies. I never liked Mia. I never saw it for Mia. So so I'm not one of them people that like Mia and then flipped on her. So it's not gonna happen with Stacy unless Stacy starts, telling lies on the girls. Then I may look at Stacy differently. But at this point, Stacy just lies on herself. So as long as she sticks to lying on herself, we're fine. If she charters into Mia territory, then we'll have a problem. Hopefully, she don't charter into Mia territory. Please don't charter into Mia territory. Please don't go that route of Mia territory. But that's it with Stacy. So we talked about pretty much talked about everything, right? We talked about Tia, Stacy, Angel, Giselle, and Kiarna. Y'all, let's get to the worst scene of this episode. And it was the worst scene of the episode for a myriad of reasons. Child P.O. Pam Oliver. I don't know what was worse in this scene. Her mama, these renovations, or her mama. So, P.O. Pam and Eddie Hennessy, the renovations are done. They say it took about 2 months to do the renovations. I was like, oh God, please stop showing this stuff. And they show us the house. I was like, oh God, please don't show us this stuff. Now, what I will say, even though allegedly they are frauds, that house looks nice. That house looks nice. And then everything is gold, got gold. And I said, oh God, P.O. Pam Oliver, girl, you should have called your producer and told them to cut this shit. My God, today you should have told them to cut this. I don't know if it was the wigs or if it was the makeup. Because as much as I love, and I'm gonna call her by her real name, as much as I love Wendy, the scene with her mama them, I hated her makeup. It didn't look it didn't look like what she normally wears. Like her makeup was something was off with her makeup. Now that fucking Susan, Susan looked like a damn ghost. And I really here's the thing. I don't like talking about people's mamas like that. But Susan, girl, you gotta lay off the skin bleaching because you are looking like a ghost. You giving Sammy Sosa vibes. Light skinned Susan acted a doggone fool, and she would have been put out of my house too. The house does look nice. She had on that Cassie Fresh makeup, just not as bad as Susan. Absolutely not. Yeah, the house looks nice, but I would, oh, girl, this is not a good look. Every time I see anything on the screen with them involving this house or finances, I just cringe. But moving on. So P.O. Pam says to Eddie, what's next? She said either they should do the basement or get a pool built. I said, oh God, please don't do that. Please don't mention what y'all gonna do next. Oh, the secondhand embarrassment that I get watching these scenes. So Eddie Hennessy says, let's do a pool. I was like, let's not do a pool. Let's stop talking about what y'all gonna do. Because anything y'all say can and will be used against y'all in a court of law. Oh God. So P.O. Pam tells Eddie Hennessy that she wants to have a conversation with her dad. So she called up her dad. Now, the conversation with her father, tell me am I the only person who got this vibe? So when she called her dad up and she was telling him how she hated that she missed him the last time that they were in Nigeria, am I the only person that got the vibe that man was just completely nonchalant with her? Is it just me or did y'all get sincere? I kind of will give Susan a little bit of credit later in the episode, but he just gave a nonchalant vibe to me. And I would have hung that phone up because it just sounded very bedpan and it just sounded very dead the way he was talking to her. And my daughter, my can y'all hear me? Please let me know. But yeah, his delivery was just very bedpan. Like, here's the thing: even when he got on that FaceTime, it was still a little dead to me. But but if here's the thing that I will say, even though it felt nonchalant to me, I can definitely tell that it meant a lot to Wendy. And since it meant a lot to her, I'm not gonna say anything negative about her dad. I'm just saying how it sounded to me. But you can clearly see that it made her feel good. And as long as it made her feel good, I don't think anybody should shit on that, including her mama and her sister. Like, I don't think that anybody should shit on it because it made her feel good and it made her happy to talk to her dad, to hear the fact that he wants to see her and her kids. Like, it made her feel good. And that should be all that matters to certain people, but not her fucking mama. And we'll talk about that in a minute. He seemed nonchalant until they got on the FaceTime. He ain't care. Okay, y'all can hear me. Pale mama just trying to ensure daddy don't get any of Wendy's money because she ain't about to lose her allowance. Very much giving mama Joyce. So we get the scene with Susan and her. First of all, let me say these two things about Susan. And again, I'm not attacking this woman. It's just it's just stuff that's very visible that anybody can see with eyes. Number one, please stop bleaching because your skin is screaming for some sunlight and some water and some kind of nourishment, right? It just needs something. Number two, your wig. I can literally see the lace in your wig. That's number two. And that's really all I got. So Susan says that this must cost an arm and a leg. I said, oh my God, please stop mentioning money. Please stop mentioning money. So she says that Wendy told her that she initially wanted to buy another house, and Susan told Wendy not to buy a house. I said, oh my God. Wendy, you are in this, and I've been figured this some weeks ago. The reason that Wendy is probably because last week her and Eddie went to court, and her and Eddie went to court, so they are going to have a trial together, right? And then I know this past week they wanted some stuff to be stricken from the court, but the judge okayed it, and it's their financial records because you guys know that they're saying that Eddie and Pam are having financial issues. And honestly, if they are having financial issues, it's because she's trying to keep up with the lavish lifestyle because of her damn mama. So Wendy invited Susan and Ivy over, right? And she told him about the conversation that she had with her dad. I'm gonna get y'all's comments and then I'll get back to it when I'm talking about. Her mom seems like she's holding so tightly to bitterness that she can't be happy for Wendy. I agree. What up, Ashley the Mocha Barbie say? The madder Susan got, the further back her wig went. You say I made it to you. Oh, what? I made it to your live while I'm at the office. Great review, cousin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So here's the thing. I was okay with what Ivy was saying to Wendy. Ivy is basically telling Wendy not to get her hopes up when it comes to their father. And I'm pretty sure because Ivy has had a different experience with the dad. And that's fine. That's cool. Keep it at that. But then Susan is over here and getting upset and shit. Like, she's like, she called the man a sperm donor because he didn't help raise Wendy and Ivy, right? She is just flipping out on Wendy. And she got mad because Wendy pointed her finger at her because Wendy was like, you're talking about the kid's grandfather. And I got where Wendy was coming from. You're entitled to have your feelings, but I don't want my kids to hear you talking that way about him. Like, I don't want my kids to be subjected to that. So Susan is upset, talking about you can talk to your friends like that and your kids like that, but you don't talk to me like that. But ma'am, you're in her house, raising your voice at her, cussing her out, telling her to shut the fuck up. in her own house. Baby girl, you're lucky it ain't nobody else's house. Cause if it's my house, even though my mom is deceased, if my mama came into my house and started telling me to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down and all this kind of shit, the minute she say, but see, the good thing about me and my mom, she would never have uttered the word fuck to me. That is the one word that she just would not say in my purse. Like she would never say that word. She hated when I would say it, right? So I would never have to worry about her saying it. But if she ever uttered it in my house, I would tell her to get out of my house. Like you are in my house. I don't care if you're my mom or not. You don't disrespect me in my house in front of my kids. So you got to get out. But then Ivy and Susan got mad when Wendy told Eddie to get them the fuck out of her house. And I was like, did she tell us to get the fuck out of her house? She sure the hell did. But she didn't. And Wendy was nice. She didn't say it to y'all. But a person like me would have said it directly to your face. Like, girl, get the hell out of my house with that. Like, you're not gonna come in my house and cuss me out. Like, girl, no. Like, I agree. I felt so bad for Wendy. Like Susan and her light skinned ass were all the way out of order, baby. I would have let Susan have it, mother or not. You just don't come into my house and disrespect me. Ain't no way. Like I really truly felt bad for Wendy in that episode. I felt bad for her. And it sounds like that's something that she's used to when it comes to her mom and her sister. Not in my house. I would have put a Yala. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Like I would have put a Yala on them. Um, you can see how Wendy ended up in the position she's in, trying to please a tyrant. And that's exactly that's exactly what I say. Wendy is in this situation because of Susan, and it's really sad. Really sad. Like I really felt bad for her. Eddie wiped her eyes. Yeah, it was a sad scene to watch. Oh, Susan is a piece of work, and I get where it was coming from. Right? Susan said she had to work, multiple jobs, to take care of Wendy and I. Okay, that's fine. The problem is you've made your kids feel like they owe you an obligation for taking care of them, but they don't. They don't do anything. You took care of them because you are their mother, and that was your job to protect and provide for them. Your father, he wasn't there. You took up the slack. But with that, you've now put a burden on your kids. And more specifically, I think you put a burden on Wendy. And your daughter might pay the price for your selfishness and your greed. Because you can't tell me that Susan didn't benefit from this stuff. I mean, remember a few seasons ago, she was asking Wendy for her allowance. And then she's talking about she quit her job and took care of Wendy's kids. Girl, if I'm breaking my back and defrauding insurance companies to make sure that you okay, that's the least you can do. But that's all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. Excuse me, y'all. And I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. So I pushed the live back because I realized we were gonna go a little bit longer. So I pushed the live back for Married to Medicine. So I'll be going live for Married to Medicine at 4:30 Central Time, 5:30 Eastern Time. So be sure to come back and join me for Married to Medicine because I got a lot to say about Toya Bush Harris. Got a lot to say about that one. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.